Hi everybody, welcome back to Sid's Modded Life, Season 3, Episode 85 with me, Sid. And you'll notice I'm in my bright, shiny red flight suit. Because we're at the top of the volcano right now. Looking down on an area that really needs to receive some love. So for the longest time, we've had this bridge, which retracts and goes out, I can't think how long it was ago that we actually started doing this bit of work here. But this bit of land here, this little bit of landmass, and this I don't really need to have a walkable route into this place. But it makes sense. And the problem has been is this little bit here, this little sliver. Obviously built this up to make up the nether portal cave, but this little sliver's really is, well, exactly that. It's a sliver. You know, it's just a thin piece of land divided by a ravine, which then connects over onto this, where my original horse is still tethered. From, right, what are we on? 85? Probably 82 or 83 episodes ago when we got that horse. Don't really need it, don't really use it. But what we've got going on down here is actually quite... Are these Enderman holes? I thought I'd turned Enderman griefing off. Well, if I haven't, I haven't. I could always go and find it. There's a data pack plugin that we can do. So, my plan for today is to not do that. Well, not really do that. Is to try and do something about this. And where I started off with this particular process was I thought, let's get a bucket of materials. Well, a box, a chest even. And I'm just going to start off with this stone. So my thoughts are that this here, this edge, let's start over here, and maybe come in there, and maybe a little bit there, and then kind of come around. And we'll tidy up the bottom edges in a moment. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a big old overhanging cliff on this side. And then we can build this up. We'll put in a roof over the top of all of this. And then we're going to bring a big old overhanging cliff from this point over. It's going to continue right around here and join back up. And this is going to become an extension of that. We're going to do a good old bit of landscaping. Now we are going to need to light up the inside of it because it's going to become a mob trap, and I should at least try to practice what I preach, which of course is my general annoyance at certain... Let's bring this up like that, I think. At certain players, YouTubers, when they sit there and grumble about how they're always getting blown up by creepers and stuff and then don't light up the builds properly. And it just seems to me to be a little bit of a kind of a whine, you know. So I am going to start off by just getting a solid stone wall in that kind of comes up and then extends outwards. So, like, you know, maybe like that. We'll have again, I'll tidy these bits up a bit later on, then, you know, bring that out this way, and so on and so forth, until we've got a solid cliff. I'll be back in a little while. Well, I realise this is all flat, by the way. This is going to change. We're going to landscape it in with this terrain here and all of this terrain. But right now, this is what we got. I want to throw in a couple more stone types from andesite and diorite, not andesite, diorite and granite, just to give it a little bit of texture. Perhaps even, I'll take it a dolphin's been playing with that, perhaps even a little bit of clay at the bottom. Don't know for definite. Yeah, there's definitely been some dolphin activity down there because I've not dropped anything over there. But from this angle, we have got a flat plateau. Over here, I did the lighting inside with prismarine lamps because, well, actually mainly because I was putting torches on the side. Then I realised when I went round and replaced the blocks with the texture blocks, that the torches will pop off. But this is all currently on the underside of this spawn proof. Now, obviously, when we come out here, we need to continue that out, and yeah, that's going to take a little while. But what we'll do is we'll pile a flat level across, and then it kind of gives me, rather than working from there up, I can work from this level and just kind of texturize this in. Maybe put a few non-textured bits on here. I think I'm going to repeat these on these four corners. And then, of course, is all the detail. But in the first instance, we have got a start of our cliff, and it joins into this, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. I may kind of merge that a little bit more so it's not all this sandy cliff, but I like the overhang rather than the gradual slope up. Trees, obviously, leaves flowing over the side, perhaps some vines, although I'm a little bit undecided. I'm not a big fan of vines because they tend to keep growing, and the only trick that we've got to stop them growing, of course, is string, which is not my favourite trick either. To assist in my building of this lot, I have built a building gadget from Direwolf 20's building gadget, mainly just using it for the build to me functionality, but you know, that's fine. I did want to just go and throw just a very small amount of texture at the bottom here, because I've got a little few patches of cobblestone, and I thought it might work if we just throw the odd mossy cobble in there as well, just for good measure. Yeah, I think that will work. I don't need to. I haven't got a lot of it anyway, and I certainly don't want to go making any. Actually, no, that's going a little too. Oh, let's do that. Yeah, just the bits around the bottom really, where there's the chance for the mossiness to grow in, I think. I don't think it needs a lot, just a little bit like that. Right. Onwards, I've still got a whole load of stuff to build, a whole load of stuff to fill in, and this ain't going to do itself. So let me get on with this, and I shall be back in a little while. Well, I've run out of grass, and I've run out of dirt. Never thought I'd say that. I haven't run out of stone. Stone I'm producing, but grass and dirt are. I'm quite happy. I mean, the grass is not a problem. I'm quite happy to let that grow on its own. But the dirt, well, there is a solution to it. I say I've run out of dirt. I think I still have a couple of thousand. Yeah, I do. So I haven't run out of dirt, and actually I haven't run out of grass. Come to think of it, I'll just borrow some of that then. I thought I had. But I've got a barrel full of dirt essence up in the mystical agriculture area, so yeah, we'll never run out of dirt. I just felt like saying it, and this thing is just proving itself to be invaluable. We still need to detail this cliff, like we've done on that one, and just get a little bit of work done. But what I'll do is I think I'll run through this. I'm just doing these in dirt, and then I'll seed it with a few blocks of grass randomly around to help it spread. The more opportunities it has to spread, I find it. You know, the grass spreading tick is a weird beastie. But it doesn't take long, and the more opportunities there are for those ticks to check, the better. So, and that needs to come out. But and that one. And I think that once we've got that in, that is probably the real big broad, well, and the detailing. Still need to do the detailing. But that'll be the big broad bush work done. And as I have said on many occasions before, half of this game is getting the broad brush stuff done, and then just coming back, and it's I've heard other Minecraft builders refer to it. It's a painting process. It's a development process of sorts, just getting everything the way it should be. And if you ever painted with oils, or I mean, I did do an art course at college. It's actually quite funny because I was never allowed to, I was not able to study art at school. I did it while it was obviously a mandatory subject, which is in the British school system, pre-taking your options at 14, I think it was. But the reality was, you know, my specialities were sciences and maths. That's where I excelled, and unfortunately, therefore, that's where I was put to study. And the way the school timetable worked out is that the arts, like art or any other art, arts or liberal studies, if you like, were timetabled in such a way that if you were doing chemistry, for example, it clashed with all of the arty, farty stuff. Right, I think this is fully lit in here, which is good. And I don't know that I'll ever use this space. This is one of those peculiarities where we have an opportunity to do some work, and therefore we're going to do it. Right, I need now to go and detail that cliff, so for that I am going to need a bit of that, a bit of that, a bit of that, and that, I think. So yeah, I'll detail this cliff face, and then we can start on to the next layer. Well, I think then I'll start building up the terrain around these to kind of blend it into this hillside, and then we can start thinking about some detail. But let me get the cliff detailing done, and again I'll be back in a second. Moving onwards, I've started to landscape these areas and bring these hills in, and I ain't cheaping out on these ones. There's no way I was going to fill that void, not sensibly. I mean, I could do it, and I generally do prefer to fill voids, but realistically it ain't gonna happen for something that size. However, this is a little bit easier because I'm kind of using dirt from Dirt Essence now, and with the building tool we can do this quite quickly. So plus the space underneath I may actually not want to fill because I may want to use it for something, I don't know yet. Whereas it's unlikely that I'm going to want to utilise this space. I'm going to basically landscape all of this back up into a... What did I just do there? Back up into a usable space. The problem is I do have to keep coming and get rid of these stupid little blocks. Just using dirt, let the stuff refill in the background. This has got the advantage that should an Enderman decide to pick up a block, the block underneath it is also dirt, which to me is a big advantage. It's the one, I think I've said this before in previous episodes, but I hate Enderman griefing. You know, you can say that creeper griefing is basically an element of skill. You know, if a creeper blows up your base, then you did something wrong. And, you know, you can just move on and forget about it. You know, it's done, dusted. It's part of the game. However, Enderman griefing, you can't stop. You have absolutely no control over it, and for me, that's a real deal breaker because I can't stop it. It's, yeah, let's put it this way, I don't like it. I need to double check. Oh, I needed to get another thing. I've got loads of this, so it's not a problem. So I will probably double check whether I have data packs on this to stop that, because realistically I don't like it, I don't want it, and yeah, so we'll get rid. But yeah, I'm just going to continue building this up. I'm going to build a little bit up around that as well, just kind of blend it in, maybe put a little more dimples in the land, and I'll be back in what to you will seem like a few seconds, because it will be, but this is going to take a while. Back in a mo. Well, it's taken a bit of doing. I'm on the next day, not Minecraft day now. But this is what we've got so far. There's a little bit of flatness which we'll address with some bushes and trees and everything. We've put this little nibbler in here, that brings it down here. We get this like little channel going through, for which I have a plan. As his voice goes, this hill here has now been brought up, and I have kind of smoothed the edges because it was a little bit harsh, as has this bit, and then we've got again a little bit of smoothness which we need to address here with, you know, some careful bushage. I'm also going to droop some bush over the edge as well as dirt, maybe even throw I can throw a little hillock in here or there. You know, that's not impossible to do. Just throw some not that though, that looks silly. Helps if you're not flying or using the right tool. But that, you know, this can make things look a little bit less uniform with a bit things, and obviously the grass will spread nicely onto this, and world will be good and happy. Well, didn't bring enough dirt. I have had to go and excavate some dirt. I actually ran out again, completely run out this time, so I went and over, where are we, here, and decimated a hillside. So yeah, it works, but we can throw a few of these in, put some plants around, and I think we'll be fine with that. So in terms of, let me wait until it's decided I can sleep. In terms of what I want to do next in this area is I want to bring a river. I'm going to have a spring come from this wall here. It's going to come through this channel down here, snake away down here, and we're going to have a little waterfall, because, you know, everything's better with a waterfall. And then I think it's really a matter of starting to throw some detail on it, get some you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Plants and the likes. So what I would like to do is I'd like to make this more pond-like, and then we'll come from here, we'll come through there, and then probably start dropping about here. And then again about here until we get to this level, and I think this is where we'll do it. Now we'll swap out some of this for sand and more riverbed stuff, and we are going to, how am I going to do this? I'm going to take this down a level as well. We'll drop the stone and everything, and I'll probably double thicken it as well. Well, actually I'll worry about that later once we've got this river section in, and we can go to 3 wide as we get a little bit closer, as rivers tend to do. So yeah, that's the kind of the idea down here. We'll just come through here, maybe narrow a bit in places. Not this guy again. What are you selling? Nothing I want. Right. We'll have your stuff though. You know, being a merchant around me is really dangerous. Anyway, yeah, so what we're going to do, we'll take this out, and I'll get this kind of stoned in, if you like, underneath a bit deeper down, and that will give us a nice waterfall, I hope. So yeah, get that done. I'll be back in a second. And the river is in and flooded, so we've got a nice little spring at the mountains, pouring out water here. I've just put some black at the back just to make it so it's obviously not a grey background. It looks like darkness going in there. Not perfect, but it'll do. And then it flows down, flows round, and comes to here where there will be a waterfall. And I need to start off with that and that. And then that and that and that and that and that and that and that. And that should give me a nicely textured waterfall. Lovely. I think now it's time for a bit more detail. So, in terms of the cliffs, what I would like to do, oh, nice, coming on again, is in a few places is just have a little bit of like that coming on here, and obviously that will hopefully look somewhat sensible. That doesn't look very sensible at all, does it? Once it's got a chance to bed in and got a little bit of foliage on it. So that's the first thing we're going to do, just throw a little bit of that around. And then I need to think about some plants for the top. Now I'm going to sculpt some of these bushes, because obviously they're not going to grow like this. I'm going to put a few of these around the hillside, kind of transition down, and transition to some full-size trees, and maybe throw a few exotic trees in as well. I was thinking about putting a little bit of texture in, like podzol and stuff in, but because the normal biome around the area doesn't have it, it would look out of place, I think. But we can definitely go for some of these. These are everywhere, these little, if I can get the thing, wildflowers, so we'll get some of those in. We can throw a few other flowers in. Kind of blend it in if we can, I think. Yeah, let's see how that goes. So, and maybe throw some leaves off the edge as well, just for good measure in a few places. I'm also going to go and just grab some ordinary dirt rather than using grass and waiting for it to transition back in. We might as well. I mean, obviously that will, and that will turn back, and that one, for example, will turn back to ordinary dirt, but I think they look better thrown over the edge like that. Now again, not too much, just a little bit here and there, and we can, if I do that one down, that one can become a, just to give it again a little bit more texture and shape. Back in a mo. Sometime later still, we're getting there. I've got some vines growing on these. These may or may not be a mistake, and to try and contain them a little bit, I've just been using these blue power covers of the leaf blocks. I can't remember which leaf blocks they are, but they are definitely spreading out of control, so we'll see how they go. But I've thrown a bit of foliage coming over the edge, lots of trees, lots and lots and lots of trees, and I've started bone mealing around this area. Now, the reason I've only done this area, the reason I've only done this area is, if you look over here, this area is all completely unlit and spawnable. This area is absolutely covered in hidden lighting, under there, there's a little bit under some leaf blocks. So everything from here to this willow tree and there is being lit. It's slow going. So that's the next job I need to do, and to do that I need, where are we? I need my covers, my podzol, I need me netherrack, me sea lanterns, me podzol slicers, me coarse dirt, and some grass. I think that should do the trick. And it's basically, wherever possible, I'm trying to do it around the base of a tree, because it kind of makes sense to have these dead patches, but where not possible, I'm just throwing them in. It's really not that much of a big deal. The fun bits are around these trees here, and I'm probably going to need far more sea lanterns, but luckily we have a guardian farm, so we'll take that out as well. That should be enough, and the process is pretty much as simple. I probably want you there as well. As throw down your sea lanterns. That one needs to come out as well. Now in this case we definitely need the flight, because we need something to work. Now the nether, in theory I would carry the netherrack up here perhaps, and we basically place the netherrack on the things. We can't place these panels, they're not slabs, I think is the takeaway from this. So you have to come in and throw in them from underneath something, and then take the support blocks out, which is a pain, without a doubt, but it's not that much of a pain, and it does give you this interesting little effect. And of course you're now lit all the way over there. So if we were to repeat over here with this tree, and this one's going to be a bit easier because it's not on the fake floor. We don't even need to do 4 if you don't want to. It's entirely voluntary. But again, just come out, throw that out, and you immediately see that we're covering a little bit further. There's still a bit here we need to do, so there's going to have to be a spodge there, and we'll just go with coarse on this again because I really can't be bothered to change. So what I would do there is I'd probably do something like this, and throw a block in there, one of them, another bit of that, and that, and that, and now we're covered up to this area. So, as I say, slow going, but it'll be worth it. So again, I shall be back in a while. You know, if I have any one complaint about one of the game, well, I've probably got several complaints about the game mechanics in Minecraft, but one of my little personal bugbears is the fact that bone meal doesn't simulate the natural distribution of grass and the likes. If you look at a normal area from terrain generator, oh hello. If you look at the normal generation of grass, it's actually quite reserved. Bone meal is always, I find, a little bit too aggressive in its generation, and that gives you two choices: live with it or go back round after you've bone mealed and thin it out. Now that can be as bad as putting it down, because again we don't tend to think or work when we're building the same as natural terrain generation. And you know, when you're landscaping like this, you are trying to emulate natural terrain generation. You know, that's why we build the hills, and we try and get that same kind of feel that you would get if this was terrain that was generated normally. Doesn't always work, obviously. Yeah, nice big bit of that there, get around here. But I mean, it's a minor bugbear, but it'd be nice if you could get a bone meal that actually simulated the natural terrain gen, rather than hammered it. Really just hammers the terrain generation home. It's like, bang, there you go, have some grass. You want grass? Here, have grass. And it gets, yeah, it's minor, I suppose. But right, I haven't. So in terms of lighting, this side I have not touched. Got a plan for this side. This side is fully lit all the way around, and most of the way up the hill to about here. I'm not going around doing everything that way. That way madness lies. I think this will look quite nice once nightfall falls. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with that particular thing. I'm not entirely sure where that crafting station came from. I think I've got a sneaking idea. Let me get rid of that, because what we're going to do now is we're going to bring this guy who has languished up here for such a long time. We're going to take him down, and he's going to come and have a little spot down here where it's a little bit nicer. And I mean, we will never use the horse again, but he was a good horse, so he deserves a nice meadow area. And obviously we're leading him because I don't trust him not to fall off that cliff. But these vines are growing nicely. Everything looks, well, as far as I'm concerned, everything looks pretty nice. Now the next thing we're going to have to do is something with this. I need another bag of holding, don't I? Because we need to pick these up. And, you know, we'll be able to do stuff inside the interior of this, but I'm just trying to find a good place to view this from. Like there, perhaps. I think I'm going to wait till nightfall, though, to try and get it lit up nicely. So On that note, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you soon. And bye for now.